personality, and it could cost you your job. So here are some hints which may come in useful the next time you apply for an interview.
Are you happy in your job? Are you fulfilling your true potential? Or are you frustrated in a career which is way beneath your capabilities? Using a new graphology technique based on individual letters of the alphabet, your handwriting can reveal your career potential and possibly give it a whole new lease of life. So whether you're a chief exec of a large multinational or a bus conductor, are you in the right job? Watch out for your double L's. Those happy in their work produce strong, bold double L's, whilst those with short, stubby double L's or loopy double L's should start looking for a different career. According to experts, how ambitious, determined, reliable and creative you are can all be revealed by the way you shape your letters on the page. For years, UK companies have used simple graphology tests when hiring individuals. So if you really want that plum job, what will a potential employer be looking for in your application letter or form? The letter W helps sort the eager, enthusiastic workers from those that can't be bothered. Those with a W that drifts off to the right are the most enthusiastic people to have around, motivating your staff, while a small W indicates indifference. In some cases, handwriting can even reveal whether a potential employee will make you bundles of cash or leave you bankrupt. The letter B shows if a person is good with money. A B with a slash across the bold and onto the next letter means that the writer recognizes a good financial opportunity when they see one. An individual's handwriting can give you the inside track into someone's head, but at the end of the day, it can only back up your instincts when hiring and firing.
Well, there we are. Expert Cash Peters joins me now. Good to see you.
Hi, good morning. I'm back.
I know, so it really can't... I mean, do firms actually use this when they get applications in? They'll actually use this as a way of weeding out people that they don't quite like?
They do, but in fact it's considered now to be a little sneaky. In America, what's happened is that people have been turned down for jobs, discovered that a graphologist has said, no, don't hire this guy, and taken the company to court because they've not even got as far as an interview to prove themselves.
Type it. Do it on your computer.
Yes, do it on it. No, but they always say, just do this last page yourself in Biro or whatever. But the point is that there is, human beings are so complex. There is a chemistry between us, and you may not like me, you may like me, but you've got to meet me to know that. And no matter how much recommendation you get from a handwriting analyst, you can't make the final decision until you've met me.
What can you tell? There's certain letters that tell you a lot about how people are. You know, certain letters that you would look at. Yeah, well, there are certain things that you, with a person that I think when I was here last time, we were talking about little T's. Yes. Little T's, you remember that vividly. You were quite excited about that, as I remember. Little T's.
You were little T's, Lauren. But it's actually quite important, little T's, because they are actually a mark of self-esteem. Right. And if you have a bubble in your self-esteem, in your T's anywhere, like that or anywhere, it's about somebody who is actually low on self-esteem, low on confidence, and maybe you wouldn't put that person in charge of an office. Right. Equally, if you get, say, a capital B, which is like, and there's going to be somebody in your office always who has this, a huge B like that, it almost tramples over the letters after it. That's exactly what they're like. They'll always have their own way. Now, you wouldn't want to put that person, say, in charge of the post room or delivering letters. They want to be in charge of the office. So yes, you can tell these things, but you're more dealing not so much with whether a person would be better working at a supermarket checkout or in an office. It's more to do with what qualities they have that would actually enable them to do the job really, really well. Right.
How can you tell if somebody is honest, can you, from what they...
Well, again, we said this last time about little T's. We actually find that if you get a T where, this is a real killer, if you get a check, right, where somebody's written a check and their T cross doesn't actually cross their T.
Ah, right.
Because it's supposed to cross through the heart of the letter. And if it doesn't, the person can be ruthless, they'll do what's necessary to get things done. And sometimes you find that people who are going to cheat you will actually not cross their T's because they're doing what's necessary to get it done. And that may not be the right thing.
Oh, that's very interesting. You mentioned a B.
Yeah.
The big B. There's
there's a big B.
What about if somebody's very ambitious? Can you spot that?
Ambitious is all to do with your L's. Now, this actually really is fascinating because what you actually find is that the higher somebody does their L's, the more single-mindedly they apply themselves to things. Or, I mean, and in fact, what they do is, if you get a really stumpy L, that is a sign of somebody who really is not extending themselves enough. They're not thinking far enough ahead. They're not really thinking how far they can go. If you get two stumpy L's together, like your double L's are really stumpy, that's a sign of frustration. That's a sign of not going as high as you could do. Right. And it's almost hitting a ceiling. A lot of women, actually, today, they are still hitting that ceiling, whereby people don't have enough confidence in them to say, you can go for that job. And of course it gets into them. They think, well, no, you're right, I can't. Of course they can.
Can you ever hide this? Like, could I go and do great big giant B's and then people would think I was terribly successful?
Well, nobody would ever think you were terribly successful, Lorraine. I mean, I don't think you can pull that one on anybody. But, I mean, how good a liar are you? I think the press would be onto that one in no time, wouldn't they? But no, what happens is people try to forge things, and what actually happens is that you can, for the first two lines, you could do Rupert Bear handwriting. You could do the big, sluggy kind of handwriting. Actually, that looks a bit like yours. But after about two lines, you find that the energy creeps in. And handwriting is about...
Isn't it? It's
yes,
like going, hello.
On a phone, they can't keep it up. If you've got a northern accent, you can't disguise it for very long. And in fact, it gradually creeps in. And by the time you've actually finished the page, I'm afraid it's the real you again. I'm sorry.
Right, really Cash Peters, I'm going to put you on the spot.
At this point, I'm going to wreck your show by leaving.
No, you sit there. You sit there on your bottom, because we have got a very special person to write out some of her handwriting on this here.
Is this Mrs. Frizzell?
It's not Mrs. Frizzell. No. It's not Mrs. Frizzell. I can't tell you that. But tell me what that person is like.
Well, you can tell already. I don't know whether we're just doing career with this, but you can tell already that their L's are quite tall.
Tall L's. This is good.
Now this person, I would say, is probably quite successful in the career, which again counts Mrs. Frizzell out. But no, I'm adjusting. But her L's actually quite tall, so this is a sign of somebody who really probably has done quite well for herself. What's very, very interesting is that her F, which we haven't dealt with this morning, but a little F on the word funny, which she's written here, has got what we call like a mask on it. Now, this is somebody who actually has an outer self, the self that you actually see, the self that they put on for dealing with people, and then the inner self. Right. And there's a definite mask there. There's something that you see which actually underneath is not necessarily them. And it's the kind of thing whereby they put on a good presentation or whatever. They are quite good supporters, quite a good supportive person. Quite tough. I think this person has learnt to be quite tough, where in fact underneath they actually might be a little more tender and soft.
Okay, shall we reveal who our mystery guest is, and let's see who she is. Do come in.
I can't wait.
I think she's coming. Yes, she is.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Actually, I think we shall find out from Gillian herself. It's Gillian Anderson, of course, from the X-Files, who's been with us all morning, and she's coming into the studio, and she's either going to thump you or going to think that you're wonderful, but actually, I think you probably got her quite well.
I wouldn't mind being thumped by the most beautiful woman in the world, actually.
Gillian, hello. Good to see you. Do have a seat.
You didn't hear a word of that, did you?
No, I did.
Well,
nice to meet you.
Cash says that you're very successful, that you have... No, you've got a little F.
You've got a little F, Gillian.
You've got a little F.
Which rumours abound about.
A masky F.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I guess you're an actress then. And that would actually be absolutely true, that you wear a mask for public things. I think probably underneath you're not actually what you may seem in...
And quite tough, you said, as well.
I think you've learnt to be a lot tougher. I think you've learnt to put on a bit more of a front now. I think at one time you were probably less tough than you are now, which you actually, again, would be.
But I was very relieved to hear that I didn't have stumpy L's.
No, you don't. How can you possibly have stumpy L's doing what you do? I think you're actually very successful and very happy doing what you do.
Do you think you got it quite reasonably right?
There's some accuracies there.
Okay, some accuracies.
Yeah, in other words, I was dead right. She just can't admit it on national television.
Cash, thank you. And Gillian, you stay with us, because we're going to talk to you lots more. Still to come this morning, a bit of a fun spell to increase your chances of winning the lottery. And as we said, Gillian stays with me for a chat about the X-Files and her debut into the world of pop music. Don't go away. Of course, Gillian Anderson, and she joins me now. Great to see you. It really is. And then all these labels, you know, the most beautiful women, the most sexy women. It's rather nice. You know, it's better than being the most horrible women.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it's very flattering.
Yeah, I must say what's really good about it is you're a very kind of normal-looking woman, if you like. You know, you've not got silicone in your boobs, and you've not got like sort of like Pamela Anderson, like, you know, all of that. You're actually... I just think that's really encouraging, you know. You look normal, you know. You don't look like a Barbie doll. So I think that's very encouraging. Very encouraging. It's a really good show and very, very successful, obviously. And it must be nice to be in something that's successful, but it's also good.
Yeah,
you know,
no, it is. You know, the scripts are wonderful, and it's a very intelligent show. and it's done incredibly well. It's very tight, and it's very slick, and it's very moody, and it's a great package that I think garners a lot of respect from people in the industry and from people who watch it. So,
and that's very difficult to do. If you can get the critics liking it and the public loving it and the kind of admiration of your peers, and that doesn't happen all that often.
No, you know, it would be dreadful to be on a series that was not successful, and to have to go through the run of it and to show up to work every day and to know that you're doing something that you didn't completely believe in. I couldn't imagine what that would be like.
Did you know when you first got offered this, did you really have a gut feeling that this was going to be so huge?
No, I don't think any of us did. I didn't even really understand what seasons were, or series are, as you call them over here, that you have blocks of episodes. And that you have a hiatus in between, and then you come back and you shoot for the next season and stuff. I didn't understand any of that. So when they said that I was shooting a pilot, first of all, I asked what a pilot was, because I didn't know what that was. And then when we got picked up, I had no idea that it could actually extend for as long as it was. I think originally we were picked up for 13 episodes, which was a tremendous amount for me, and I would have been more than happy to just, you know, do the 13.
And it's just gone so
kept
well.
Going. Yeah.
It's incredible. How do you actually, because something like that, it must be fairly intense. The workload must be fairly intense. And you've got a wee girl. She's what, two and a half.
Yeah.
Piper, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you manage to juggle that? I'm always interested in that because I have to do it myself. So how do you manage to do that?
She actually gets to come to work with me every day.
Do you take her with you?
Yeah,
what does she do on the set? Because there's some weird goings on there. Does she, you know, she doesn't see you sort of in all this weird makeup, because I know in some episodes you age dramatically.
Actually, she's been okay with it up until now. There was a recent episode where I had some bruises on my back, and she was very distressed at the fact that I had bruises on my back. But most of the time, she runs around and she plays. She walked into the trailer once with the head of a goat. It was a plastic goat's or a rubber goat's head, carrying it like a little baby. It was very disgusting. It had like an eyeball sticking off to one side and
but
stuff.
But kids take all that sort of thing in their stride sometimes. She won't see it though, will she? She won't watch it.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't watch it. It's a bit too much.
It's a bit too dark.
But she really loves being there. It's an extended family for her. And
well, that's good. And you've got somebody who looks after her when you're there and all of that. And I suppose all the crew, she's probably been adopted by all of them, I would imagine.
Yeah, she has.
Little sort of X-File mascot. Should we have a look at the X-Files?
Yeah. Sure.
Let's have a look. Here we go.
It's just something that reminded me.
What, an alien implant?
Two, actually. I made them into earrings. Read the back.
Commemorating Apollo 11 and the mission to the moon, July 1969. I'm touched.
I'm touched. Much is made, obviously, of the chemistry between the two of you. But, I mean, if you ever did get together, on screen, I should say, if you ever did get together in the series, it would ruin it, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
It would.
It definitely would. It wouldn't be the same. I think the fact that they sometimes just nearly, you can see sometimes that they're just maybe going to have a cuddle. There you are. Look, you did have a cuddle on the front of Rolling Stone, mind you. What a very sexy picture that is. That was, what was that done for? Just to kind of...
It was done for the cover of Australian Rolling Stone originally, and then it went to the American Rolling Stone cover.
Ah, right.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
No, it's good. I mean, you obviously must. Yeah, I bet it was. You must get on well. You have to get on well if you're working with somebody so intensely. You have to get on well. How do you manage to do that?
We stay out of each other's way.
Yeah.
You know, we are thrown together in a situation which is unlikely, and under an incredible amount of stress and in the hours that we have to work and stuff. So being essentially married, which it feels like sometimes, to somebody that you see, you know, 16 hours a day can get a bit tedious. So we basically just...
Because you probably would see more of him than a man in your life. Do you have anybody in your life just now, or are you just footloose and fancy?
Do you think that I'd tell you if I did?
Oh, I thought you might. Just me, nobody else.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
You couldn't... David got married recently, didn't he?
He did, indeed.
Yeah, but you weren't able to go. Were you working, or could you
I was working.
Oh, that's a
I was
shame.
working, and I actually didn't know it was happening.
Really? Was it a kind of a whirlwind romance in his And his part?
I can't speak for that, but it was not public information.
Right, okay, so he's fine. And when do you start working together again? When do you get back together?
We're shooting the X-Files feature, it seems, starting in June, so we'll see each other in June.
So you'll be back then. And what next for you? I mean, because really, the world is your lobster, as they say. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Well, first, the X-Files feature, that's next, after a bit of a relaxation break, hopefully. And then go back to shooting the series for another season.
And you're still loving it? Getting a lot out of it as well?
Yeah, it is.
It's been fantastic to talk to you. I wish I could talk to you lots more. It's been great to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Hope we do lots more X-Files. I'm a huge fan. Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, that's all we've got time for today.